if Trey Lance is a bigger bust than Zach Wilson, why do you put him out there?
Ask him. I never said that.
If Trey Lance,
now you know why you're calling him a bust. It's because you don't know if he's good or not.
it's not that. It's because one,
Just a flyer.
I can assume what a quarterback's going to look like under Kyle Shanahan
Yes,
off
you
rip.
can.
So then why are
If
you
the 40,
saying he's a bigger
if
bust?
the 49ers, this is the question. If the 49ers move off of Trey Lance, they trade him or they don't start him in favor of Brock Purdy, and they never get to see him start, then of course he's a bigger bust.
But that's
He
a
didn't even get to
49
play.
That's an organizational failure. That's not a Trey Lance failure. You're not giving him. How can you
If
be
he
a
was,
bust?
if
You
he
played
was
3 games.
if he was hands down beating out Brock Purdy in camp, then he would have the
It
starting
doesn't.
job.
But what you think? It doesn't matter about camp. Brock Purdy has 5 games in a playoff game of evidence of him being good. Trey Lance has no evidence when it matters. Training camp doesn't matter that much. It really doesn't.
Brock
Purdy's
Purdy in the regular
spot is
season,
solidified.
He's got the locker
Why
room.
should
He's
it
got the
be?
guys
Because
behind him.
he went undefeated in the regular season, and then he won a playoff game.
Won 2.
Hey, what do you do? What do you mean? Why should it be? They have to see what he can do year 2. That's okay.
This
And
is
if he
the thing.
flops out, he flops out. But they're good enough to where he can be okay for 17 games, and they will still make the playoffs. I agree. He has to do it. He has to show when tough times get tough.
And he won't
can he
do
make
it.
that play? Will he? Will he not? We don't know.
No, I know he won't.
Joel,
I know he
they're
won't.
in the NFC. How many games are they going to go into
One
where
game.
they're underdogs?
One
They
game.
have to beat the Eagles.
One game.
Okay.
In one game.
So there's one team.
time. The Eagles. Because
And-
Brock Purdy wasn't great against Dallas. He's barely
game
good.
manager. He
And
was
they
game
fucking won the game.
Yeah.
Because their defense is so good, so elite, and Dak was literally ass. That's the one who really be folding under pressure. If Brock Purdy can just be better than Dak when it matters, which he probably can be, then they'll win. And that's okay. That's literally okay.
The Cowboys last season,
we go.
receivers couldn't get open against man coverage at all. Once the Niners took CeeDee Lamb out the game, there wasn't another player that Dak could have went to.
What are they going to do now, Brandon Cooks?
Well, Brandon Cooks definitely opens up the offense more. I mean, for sure he opens up the offense.
Oh,
what are we
Lordy.
talking about? Brandon Cooks,
a
how
good
many
player.
years has he had
He's
to
a good
stop?
player. He's a
What
good
are we
player.
talking about? Last year,
Player.
who was it? I mean, we're talking about CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Cooks, Michael Gallup getting fully healthy and his mental mindset ready. Michael Gallup was, before he got injured, was a really good receiver on the rise. This is the thing, and this is what you guys are failing to understand.
Mike McCarthy's calling plays. Good luck.
Ultimately, when it comes to the 49ers, the reason they have not been able to get over the hump is because when all the gimmicky stuff stops working and they need a quarterback to make the play, Jimmy Garoppolo has been unable to make
And this is where you're wrong, because that is on Jimmy G. You have not seen that from Brock Purdy yet, because the moment when he needed it to be, he got hurt.
He's got a 12 pass attempt.
Not even acknowledging that. I'm not acknowledging that.
I've seen enough from Brock Purdy to say that he's
You have
overrated.
not seen enough from Brock Purdy in those moments like you've seen from Jimmy G to say he's holding them back from a title, because they were in an NFC Championship game and the Eagles injured every single quarterback they had. Brock didn't even get to play much in that game, and even when he got hurt, he still tried to go out there. What are we doing?
I've seen
here?
enough from Brock Purdy to know that
you
he's
have
overrated.
not.
Yes, I have.
What is he?
Yes,
How's
I
he over?
have.
Where are we rating him?
Because the
rating him?
stats don't showcase what was actually on the tape.
On the tape was 5-0.
No, that's actually the stats. The stats says it's 5-0.
Win.
They won against the Raiders. Brock Purdy was not good against the Raiders.
Okay.
He held them back in that game.
Bro, he
like
was
I said,
fantastic throughout those 5-6 weeks.
Which ones? I
read the stats to you. He completed 70% of his passes.
You're so overcritical of the last pick in the draft.
Touchdown interception ratio. He was number. What was he?
You're a stats guy?
You're a big advanced stats guy. He was
yelling.
number 2 in EPA
That's
per
his
play.
favorite. What's that?
Number
EPA?
2
That's his
in
favorite
EPA
stat.
per play. You just asked me about Alex Smith's passer rating. Brock Purdy was number 1, weeks 13 to 18. Number 1, 110 passes.
You said Alex Smith? You mean Jimmy Garoppolo?
No, because you said, what was Alex Smith's passer rating that year? I was like, whatever, fucking 74.
Add this. He's the last pick in the draft. Yeah. The last pick.
No, what he's done has been being the last pick and doing
You're being
that.
very overcritical of the last pick in the draft.
I'm not overcritical. It's just that
Can we see him in year
ultimately
2?
the 49ers moved off from Jimmy for an upgrade, and Brock Purdy is not an upgrade. He's not.
Maybe he
Brock
is.
Purdy was better this year than Jimmy G was. That's pretty easy.
That's a start, right?
It's, pretty comfortable, I would say.
Brock Purdy has better playoff games than Jimmy G. That's a start. So what are we saying
Right now, I'm looking at rbsdm.com. It's where you find EPA per plays and all those different metrics, right? Okay. I'm looking at minimum of 200 snaps for a quarterback. EPA per play, Mahomes was first.
This is what, this past season?
This past season. Number 2 was Tua. Number 3 was Jimmy Garoppolo.
Don't you? But two.
Yeah, because he's
Here we
also in an offense with Mike McDaniel coming from that tree. It oversimplifies the offense. That's why I'm even with the numbers with Tua. That's why I'm critical of Tua too. But Tua is way better than Brock Purdy. Number 4 is Josh Allen. Number 5 is Jalen Hurts. Number 6 is Brock Purdy. So actually, EPA per play, Jimmy Garoppolo was 3 spots ahead of Brock Purdy.
I had weeks 13 to 18. The weeks he actually started.
Wait, what do you mean? This is just how many snaps they played. Garoppolo played 362 snaps, and Brock Purdy played 206 snaps at quarterback.
Yeah, but I'm just looking at the weeks Brock Purdy played. I don't really care about those other weeks. Weeks 13 to 18.
What other weeks did he play? How many snaps did he play? Huh?
I'm saying I was just looking the weeks Brock Purdy started 13 to 18.
Games. Brock Purdy's played 9 games.
I don't know if I didn't. You can't add the.
I mean, this takes into account their snaps in the regular season.
You're looking at the totality. How many games did Jimmy G play this year?
I mean, I'm looking at the totality. You want to look at the totality. I mean,
wait.
Brock Purdy before he started had 9 dropbacks.
He played 10 games.
Yeah, he's played. Like, he played against Kansas City.
Low-key, Jimmy G had his best year of his career this past season before he got hurt.
Yes, he did, because it's Shanahan's offense, and any mediocre to below average quarterback can look
let me
better
get this
in
straight. The stat you love so much, Brock Purdy was 6.
And if you just count the weeks he played, number 1.
Jimmy Garoppolo was third. Jimmy Garoppolo was third. I'm not high on Jimmy Garoppolo.
And Jimmy G has shown you he can't win you a playoff game, and Brock hasn't even shown you that yet.
Brock Purdy's shown you. He put up 300
No,
yards.
I'm saying Brock Purdy hasn't shown you that he'll hold them back in a playoff game yet. Oh. I don't think he's shown that yet. You can project if you want, but he has not shown that like Jimmy G has, correct?
Well, I think in the Seattle game, he wasn't very good.
He put up 300 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Well, I don't think he was good. You can look at the stats and say he was good.
First half, it was a close game. I want to say it was tied or maybe 3-point one way or the other. But that second half, they came out and they blew them out. They won by
it wasn't because of Brock Purdy.
Points.
He has to score, by the way.
And also, the Seahawks defense last season was one of the worst in the NFL.
It wasn't good.
They had one of the worst rush defenses in the NFL. So for me, there's a reason why I'm not high on Garoppolo.
There's always something.
There's a reason why I'm not high on Garoppolo, even with him being number 3rd on this list. Like you said, he was having a career year. But if you watch it, you know it's because of Shanahan. That's why I say it doesn't matter. If you're moving on from Jimmy G and you're going to Brock Purdy, it's a lateral move. There's no difference. And every stable quarterback metric, Jimmy Garoppolo and Brock Purdy are neck and neck. They are similar across the board. And those stable quarterback metrics
are just this year?
Are just this year, yes. But even in years before this, Jimmy Garoppolo was always a top 5 quarterback in EPA per dropback.
You don't think so? Okay, so you're talking about Brock Purdy's rookie year as the last pick in the draft, as opposed to Jimmy G's probably this is like his 7th, 8th year. You don't think Brock can improve at all? Like, this is him.
I think he maybe slightly, but this is pretty much him. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is him.
Listen,
do you have a different opinion? You think he's something special? Do you think he's the next Tom Brady that I'm missing out?
All right.
No, I'm trying to understand where your mind is at.
I don't think he's the next Tom fucking Brady, but I don't think he's as bad as you think he is. I think he could be better than Jimmy Garoppolo. I think he can be a top 18, 17 quarterback in the NFL. Like, that's not a big jump. And if he has Kyle Shanahan, who's always going to put him in a position to succeed, he'll always be fine. He just has to hit those throws. He can do it. I don't know why you act like he can't. If you're in a system where you're always put in a position to succeed, then I don't see what's the big issue. That's going to be your main knock. Oh, Kyle Shanahan's this. Well, that's what coaches are for. Coaches are there to help your job be much, much easier. Your knock on him is Kyle Shanahan makes his job easier. Well, so what?
No, my knock on him is I know what Kyle Shanahan is going to do. My knock on him, and this is the same knock I had on Jimmy Garoppolo and why I thought the Christian McCaffrey trade did not guarantee them anything, was because on obvious passing down situations, when the run game isn't working, when they got all those little gimmicky stuff figured out, which has happened in the past with Kyle Shanahan. It's happened in the past. Jimmy Garoppolo wasn't able to deliver. You have
a lot of film on that.
Brock Purdy won't be able to deliver.
Based off what?
Like I said, you want to use a small sample size of the game started, but listen, I told you my small sample size, right?
It was 12 snaps.
The small sample size of Brock Purdy trailing, it was in the Raiders game. He was horrible.
That was week what?
That's the thing.
That was week what?
And that was also against one of the worst defenses in football.
What, though?
That was week 15, I believe. They faced the Raiders.
Against the Raiders.
Week 15 against the Raiders. But that's the thing, is that I don't think Brock Purdy, when the chips are on the line and he has to make something happen that isn't designed perfectly by Kyle Shanahan, he won't
And that's
be
based
able to
off
do it.
12 snaps against the Raiders.
That the stats say 12 snaps. My belief and reasoning is based off all the snaps I've seen Brock Purdy in. I know how easy of a job he has at his
what game
quarterback.
specifically? Outside the
That
Raiders game.
terrible Raiders game was 63% completion, 280 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception.
And
with a 95
that's you
passer
looking
rating.
at the stats. That's you looking at the stats and saying he was great and not.
Well, he doesn't
looking
say
at
he
the
was
game.
great, but it's
versus
like,
the Seahawks, the playoff game. I thought it was an average to below average performance.
It was his first
if you
playoff game.
but if you look at the stats,
131
they'll say
quarterback rating.
it was all great, right? I look at the
can't do
Commanders
much.
game.
Oh, my
The Commanders game wasn't very good either. I thought he was kind of subpar in that one as well.
based off because what he missed passes and stuff.
It's just everything is so easy
He
when
had
Kyle
tw-
Shanahan
he
is
had
designing.
22 pass attempts that game. Wow. Completed 15 passes. What do you like?
When you look,
How much
when
is he
you
supposed to
when
do
you
here?
look at the games,
It's
you
just too
see
easy for
you
him.
see that Brock Purdy, when he's going to be forced into situations, I can already project that he's not going to be what you think. He's gonna be.
Joe,
What?
Like pretty
So
clearly.
basically, what you see is an easy play, and based off the easy play, you're like, you know
Bro,
what?
this-
If this was hard, he'd fumble
listen,
it.
this is the thing.
No, it's because there's been times on obvious passing down situations. We're talking about 3rd and long where he does not deliver.
Can we see this guy play 10 games against
I was
NFL
talking, bro brought up a
defenses before
Seahawks
we
game. That was his
just...
first playoff game of his life.
Can we, because listen, Joel, logically speaking, it makes all the sense in the world for the 49ers to see what they have in Trey Lance. I also think it makes sense that once Brock Purdy has the locker room behind him and this team who is trying to win a Super Bowl, Brock Purdy is probably in a better position because he is more refined than Trey Lance is. Trey Lance's ceiling is higher, but the floor is a lot lower with Lance, and the floor is a lot higher with Purdy. Your argument, which I understand because the argument that you're making, it's going to be hard to be wrong because he's basically saying Brock Purdy will never be good enough that in a playoff game, trailing the 4th quarter in the Super Bowl, he'll never be good enough to win a Super Bowl or win those games. I mean, yeah, there's like 5 quarterbacks in the NFL that could do that.
Well, there are 2 different things that you said that I want to attack. For one, if Trey Lance is not refined in 3 years,
He has not
that's
played,
a
bro.
problem.
He
Doesn't
doesn't
play.
play. He needs snaps.
His entire rookie season, he was practicing.
That's not
You
the
can
same,
get
though.
better. You
Snaps.
can get better in practice.
and
That's
we
not the
don't know.
same.
He played 1 game in his 2nd year. He could have been great
He
last
was
year.
hurt all last year.
Mahomes redshirted one
Mahomes is a
entire
different
year,
beast. Please
and
use
then
somebody
he
else.
had 50 touchdowns the next year.
And how,
different
did
beast.
You
Mahomes,
get
how many
better
games
in
did Mahomes
practice.
play year 2?
He played all of them.
17. How many games did Trey Lance play?
1.5.
Fucking 1
And
in
also,
one drive.
and also in year 1 with Trey Lance, there were instances where he did play when Jimmy Garoppolo went out.
played 2 games.
The Texans game, and
Yeah.
what other game did he play?
I don't know. He played 2
And-
games.
But in those games that Trey Lance played, he didn't play horribly
He was
to the
fine.
point that you just kick him to the curb for
No,
Brock Purdy.
He was valid.
No, but bro, he started that next year. He just got hurt.
Yeah, he
That's-
got hurt, but
like,
I'm
we
saying
don't know.
he should have the starting quarterback job. If 49ers really believe in him, it should be him, not Brock Purdy. That's all I'm saying. So if Trey Lance is not refined in year 3,
He needs
that's
snaps.
an issue.
It's 'cause he has
How
to-
does he get snaps?
By playing.
And what if he doesn't play? He
the-
won't ever get
the-
them.
the
So
Niners-
he's a bust.
It's because-
But he hasn't been playing because of his talents because he's been hurt. He would have started if he was healthy last year. He would have started all games last year.
Second year, he was hurt. Rookie year, he did not play.
They sat him.
Third year, right now, they're about to sit him again. Right now, it's a battle between him and Sam Darnold.
He should win the QB2 job, I'll be honest.
No,
If he doesn't
win
win
the
the
QB
Right
job-
now, their depth chart is Sam or Trey Lance.
No, that's
They just
now
don't
that
want- they
that
don't-
is the one where there's no.
They don't
what
want
are we
to. They don't
talking
want to
about?
start any drama.
he's
we,
not-
we
They don't
can't
wanna
we
start any
can't say
drama.
we can't say Trey Lance isn't a bust if he doesn't play, but he's not good enough to even play. If he's not good enough to even play, he's a bust. If Zach Wilson hadn't played to this point, he's not a bust.
Yeah, but he played and he was literally dog shit.
Okay.
Wait,
That's
so then
the
how is Trey
problem.
Lance?
He literally
Because
just.
Trey Lance can't get on the field.
But if Zach, but you just
There's
said
no
if
other
Zach, no,
option
he
in
just
New
said if
York.
Zach hasn't played him to this point, he isn't a bust. But that would have meant Zach also can't get on the field. That's the same thing
Yeah,
with Trey
if
Lance.
Zach can't get on the field and he couldn't beat out a quarterback in front of him, yes, he's a bust.
Yeah, but bro, you have to understand what the quarterback did in the regular season, bro. It's a different case.
You have
So
a
you
Niners
think-
team
so
that's
you
trying
think-
to win
No,
a
if he can't beat
Super
out Sam
Bowl,
Darnold,
bro.
he's
No,
fucked.
So let me ask you, Riv. If Trey Lance, if the 49ers say, you know what, we're going to trade
This
Trey
shit's
Lance.
sick, man.
If they trade Trey Lance, is he a bust for the 49ers?
Yeah, he would have failed with
He's
the
a
49ers.
bust of a pick. If he doesn't get on the field, he's a bust of a pick. I don't care about other situations. Maybe he exceeds. For the 49ers,
No,
he's
for the
a
49ers,
bust of a pick.
he's a failure.
And it's worse.
But if he
it's
bounces
worse than
back
Zach
after
Wilson.
that, he's not a bust.
Okay,
He's
yes,
back
you're
to it.
right. You're correct.
He's
Before
not
the
worse
Nin-
than Zach Wilson. Stop saying that, bro.
But
Please.
for the 49ers, he's a bust.
Yes,
That's
he's a
what I'm
failure.
saying.
Yes,
Yes,
but you're
he's
saying
a
worse
failure.
than Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson was dog shit.
So let me ask you.
He was not. He's not good at football. We don't know if Trey Lance is good at football.
Exactly.
Zach
That's
is
my
literally
argument.
not. Zach is
he's
quite
the
literally
worst.
not good at football. Like he's not good at anything in football.
But if Trey Lance
Sorry,
gets,
Zach.
if
I hope you turn it around.
what's worse, if me as an organization, I draft you with the second overall pick, you're not good. Okay, but I just had the second overall pick. I didn't trade up. I didn't do nothing. Versus me trading up three first
Trey
round
Lance's
picks
fault that the
and
Niners traded up?
I like how you add all that context.
What do you mean?
Like,
Because
that's
the
good- that's good
context
context.
matters.
But that's not on Trey Lance. Trey Lance didn't say, "Oh, trade 3 first-round picks for me." The Niners
But
did
it happened anyway. You can't take back
Yeah,
what
he's right,
happened.
he's
But
right.
you
It did
can't.
happen. It did
You
happen.
can't
Yeah.
stack that up on Trey Lance.
Yes, you can, because that matters within the context of the
wanted him.
49ers
Yeah,
draft
they-
pick.
I get what you're saying.
If they traded 3 first-round picks and a third-round pick to move up to pick number 3,
That makes it
to,
worse.
to draft Trey Lance, and Trey Lance does not even start more than 4 games for them.
That makes
What's
it worse.
worse?
That makes it worse.
That's
The
what I'm
trading
saying.
makes it worse.
If Trey Lance cannot start for the Niners, then it's worse than
But
the Jets with Zach Wilson.
That's not like it's just still different because you like Trey Lance is a bust because you didn't get to see what he became. With Zach, you saw he was just ass. Like you
could've
literally.
became-
And
what
there
if
was-
he
you know
played?
what?
You're
What if he
the
was better year
quarterback.
3?
Shit, bro. He got benched for fucking Chris Trevler. He got benched for Chris Trevler.
It was a travesty what the fans did to Zach.
Oh
Was it
my
Mike White?
God.
Was it a Mike White?
It was
too?
Don't
Mike
even get me
White
started
too.
on it.
They
Hold up.
booed him.
He got
They
benched.
booed him.
He didn't get. Brock Purdy goes undefeated. He puts up 13-3 touchdown interception ratio.
Zach
Trey
couldn't do
Lance
that.
gets benched. Zach Wilson gets benched for Mike White, a career backup, and Chris Trevler, who just got cut by the Jets. And then week 18, they started journeyman Joe Flacco. He got benched for Joe Flacco, Mike White, and Chris
he's
Trevler.
legit
Trey
ass.
Lance got benched for a guy that went undefeated and was one of the most efficient quarterbacks in the
didn't even
league.
get benched. He got hurt.
Right now, who is Zach Wilson on the bench for? Name me that, Dehls.
Aaron Rodgers.
If we didn't
He
get
wasn't
Aaron
on the bench
Rodgers,
for Aaron-
if
You'd be rioting.
If we-
You'd be rioting. If you didn't get Aaron Rodgers, you still had Zach Wilson. Your city would riot. Your city would literally riot. Maybe not you, but your city would riot.
If Aaron Rodgers wasn't the quarterback, we were going to go get Derek Carr. So that means Zach was either going to be behind Aaron Rodgers or Derek Carr. That's significantly different than being behind Brock freaking Purdy.
No, Zach was behind Mike White, the Shreveler dude, and journeyman Joe Flacco. Don't do that, bro.
Ultimately,
don't try to
but
change
in
up who
year
he's behind.
in year 3, Zach is behind Aaron Rodgers, the greatest quarterback
Zach
ever
would have
lived.
been behind Jacoby
One of
fucking
the-
Brissett. It wouldn't have mattered.
Let me-
Zach was never going to
Jacoby's
start
better than
there.
Brock Purdy. Jacoby's
my
better than
God.
Brock Purdy. So hold on. No. So answer me this question though.
Jacoby's actually nice though. So let's put some respect to
This the
Jacoby.
question. This the question, Riv. Who's a bigger bust? Is Zach Wilson a bigger bust for the Jets or Trey Lance a bigger bust for
Trey
the
Lance would
Niners
be a bigger
if they
bust for the
trade him?
Niners.
That's all.
No.
That's the
If
they
question.
trade him, if they
Zach
trade him.
Wilson is the bigger bust because he's not good at football. We don't know if Trey Lance is good at football. We just know Brock Purdy
If he
is
can't
good
get
at
on the
football.
field, it's because he's not
No,
good
no.
at football.
If the Niners trade Lance, he's a bigger bust for the Niners for sure for the Niners. But Zach's cooked, bro.
Zach's
he's a
not
bust.
cooked.
He's a bust in history.
being mentored
Trey
by
Lance is
Aaron
not a
Rodgers
bust
right
in-
now.
He don't give a fuck. Who
Aaron
gives a
Rodgers
fuck?
loves Zach Wilson. What are we talking
Aaron
about?
Rodgers can do
They're
whatever
cool.
he wants to that boy. He's not good at football.
Did you see that 56-yard pass? That was Aaron Rodgers' life. He got to his
He threw,
three-set drop.
he threw an interception to Camu Gruger Hill.
He's pretty fast.
Yeah.
He is. You ever use him in Madden? He's a pretty fast player.
I just put it on Twitter. Early votes are 83 to 16% Trey Lance over Zach Wilson.
Bust?
No, who would you rather have?
Oh, duh.
Well,
Put
obviously,
Brock Purdy-
people would rather have Trey Lance because they don't know with Trey Lance.
But they know Zach's ass.
That's my fault. That's my point.
But how?
They know Zach Wilson got benched for
Give
Mike
me the
White.
mystery box over the
Riv,
Trey
Riv.
Bro, they
No,
booed
I-
him in your own place, bro.
Dehls is witty. You worded that question very nicely.
Ah.
Yeah, I remember when you did the same shit for Jordan Love, and you're gonna be wrong about Jordan Love because I remember
What
that
did I say
poll.
about Jordan Love?
You typed out a tweet about Jordan Love and what type of quarterback he'll be. You had a
Oh,
poll. I
yeah, I
remember
did,
that.
I did.
I remember that,
Let me see
Dehls.
if I can find
If you ask the audience who's a bigger bust for their respective teams, Trey Lance or Zach Wilson, and Trey,
I'll put it
poll
out there
be
He
too.
definitely pulled an agenda move. I respect
definitely
it.
pulled
I
an agenda
respect it
move.
100%. I would have did the same
And
thing.
with Dell saying that, I will only be right. It's easy for me to be right if in a situation Brock Purdy doesn't lead the Niners Super Bowl, whatever. It's not if they win or don't win. To be honest with me, it's not about the end team result.
For sure.
It's about
If
how
it's his fault
Brock
or not.
Purdy
Yes,
plays in a
yes.
situation. And for me, I don't think Brock Purdy will
Yeah.
play well in them situations.
Whoa. You can say all that what you want, but Brock Purdy wasn't the reason they lost to the Eagles. And if Brock Purdy plays well and he's not the reason the team lose. You will be an L, and you would be wrong for sure. So just be ready for that because next season he's going to start week 1.
Why would I be ready for that if I know what's going to happen?
Yeah, I'm sure. Just like you knew Zach Wilson be good. Week 1, be ready. Brock Purdy's going to start.
Are all 5 Zach Wilson big or bust.
Nuts. Brock Purdy's going to start week 1, and he's going to have them in the playoffs again. So just be ready for the next year in the playoffs.
You could call Trey Lance a bust, fine. I hate to do it because Zach, he was my franchise quarterback at one point.
Nuts.
He's not a bigger bust. Zach's
going
to go down in the history
You're
books.
smart. You gave up early.
I mean, I don't need 3 years of Zach Wilson to know what he is.
Yeah,
I know what he is.
I might have been wrong about Zach, but check my track record when it doesn't come to my team. Because when my team, I get passionate.
You want to put a wager on this?
What's the
Brock
wager?
Purdy?
On Brock Purdy?
Yeah, you want to do it?
All right, what's the stipulation?
We could do, if they make the playoffs next year.
Well, they're going to make the playoffs next year.
Oh, yeah.
So not if they're healthy, they make it. You know.
Yeah, no
They're a
shit.
stacked team.
If he can get them to the NFC Championship game or the Super Bowl, and it's because of him, I win.
What do you mean because of him, though? What does that mean? That's up for interpretation.
Oh God.
I think
We're
they
supposed
can
to
get
give Johnny Cartledge a shout out.
Yeah, we are.
Okay.
We are. Sorry. In my opinion, they can get to the NFC Championship with Sam Darnold.
Are you fucking kidding me
I
right now?
swear to God, they can get there with Sam Darnold.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm dead serious. They can get there with Sam
Based
Darnold.
off Sam Darnold sucks.
Sam Darnold last year for the Panthers actually quietly played pretty well. He did. Look it up. Look it up.
Okay.
Look it up.
Don't.
If Sam Darnold did what Brock Purdy just did, we would have a discussion.
Sam Darnold was also a top 10 pick.
Top 3.
And guess where Brock Purdy was? You're comparing dudes who were top 5 picks to the last pick in the draft.
No,
he lied.
Sam Darnold's career year was 2022, where he completed less than 59% of his passes.
It's 7 touchdowns.
7 touchdowns, 3 picks.
1,000 yards.
With the Panthers.
My God.
With Steve Wilkes.
My
now
Lord.
we're saying with the
No offensive
Who
line.
did PJ Walker start over him at some point?
I think he got benched.
Sam never got benched for his performances, probably because of injury.
He
or
did
something.
get hurt.
Yeah. And they were winning games.
Justin Jefferson's a wide receiver. He had more yards.
And
than
I'm not
Sam
saying,
Darnold.
I don't think the Panthers won because of Sam either. But I'm saying that.
You just, okay.
No, wait. I just what?
Yo, bro, Brock Purdy had 400 yards in a playoff game.
400?
300.
Sorry. 300 yards in a playoff game. Sam Darnold's not doing that.
Well, in that situation, yeah, he would.
He's not doing that.
I think
how
he would.
many 300-yard games does Sam Darnold actually have in his life?
He actually has quite a few.
How many?
I'll say over 4.
Over 4?
Yeah.
That's quite a few.
That is quite a few is 2 or more.
Let's see.
Quite a
Let's
few.
see.
It's 56 games played. Quite a few. Are you serious?
Look at the situations. His best receiver at time was who was that USC receiver?
He's got 8 over 300. 3 of them are 305, 304, 301.
Oh my God, he's barely scratching through.
Who was that? Deontay Burnett? I don't know.
Nuts.
The USC receiver that
Denzel Mims.
the
Don't ever
USC
forget
receiver that Sam Darnold was throwing to week 17 versus the Patriots.
Of this, you're saying this past season or
No,
on the Jets?
his rookie season.
It
It was Deontay Burnett. There was a point in time where Sam Darnold's best weapon was Deontay Burnett, bro. He's not even in the league no more. Come on, what are we doing here? If he got drafted to the 49ers, it's a different conversation.
Sure.
I'll be honest.
Yeah.
But yes, the what I'm saying is that Sam Darnold could do what Brock Purdy just did. Yes, for the 49ers, 100% he can. I believe that wholeheartedly.